Three drivers caught red-handed. They drop off a television for a woman and then pick it right back up.
This time it's about justice.
Her warning tonight.
What's your response to those who feel like our judges are not imposing harsh enough sentences?
Teen homicides are up, and now community leaders are asking city leaders to step up. The work underway to end this trend.
And putting the brakes on Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell's transit plan. Why not everyone is on board with expanding bus service? Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
Well, we start tonight with breaking news as the Metro Council just approved an amended version of Mayor Freddie O'Connell's 2025 operating budget.
Now, that includes $30 million for affordable housing, a 4% cost of living raise for city employees. We're going to have more on the budget on our website, fox17.com.
Well, tonight, Metro Council also voting for the first time on whether to put Mayor O'Connell's transportation improvement plan on the November ballot.
This is a big one. It includes synchronized traffic lights, 28 miles of new sidewalks, expanded bus service, and a small sales tax increase to pay for it. But recent violence at the downtown bus station, as well as at WeGo bus stops, has some people questioning that part of the plan. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live at the Metro Council meeting, which is at the courthouse, with the very latest on the vote.
Well, the very latest is that it passed on its first vote, and it happened right here behind me in this room during the Metro Council meeting. But people tell me they want to be assured that they'll be safe following a rash of recent crimes. Mayor O'Connell's transportation improvement program includes buses running around the clock and adding more routes, asking Metro Council to vote yes on this. But after a slew of violent crimes happening at WeGo bus stations and at buses, including where a man was hit over the head with a canned item, making him bleed just yesterday, people like Darius Knight are worried about their safety if the plan gets approved.
Well, I'm concerned because I think that the mayor is uninformed about what's really going on. These issues have been ongoing.
WeGo already spends more than $2.4 million on security services, and the question is, what will be different this time? The mayor says upgraded security and a relationship with Metro Police.
The transportation improvement program we've proposed actually has built into it security funding that will increase security presence both at transit centers like WeGo Central.
This sounds good to people who rely on this service.
We feel that Metro Police will be a better fit down here at Central based on what we've seen from this security company.
Metro Council member Jacob Coupin says he feels safe on the bus and will vote yes.
This plan allows us to not be one of the handful of major cities that don't have dedicated funding for transit.
The transit program has to pass tonight. Then it'll go out for 2 more votes by Metro Council to appear on November's ballot for voters to decide.
I fear that many Nashvillians that I've spoke to, they want to vote no for something that's going to benefit all of Nashville, because they feel that these issues are not being addressed.
But I do think between now and November, it's going to be important to answer that question. I think.
Now, this is more than just safety. It also would include a tax increase, which could deter voters come November. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And of course, we want to know what you think. If the election were held today, would you vote in favor of the Nashville Mayor's Transportation Improvement Plan? We've had just over 500 people vote in on this. 65.6% say no, 34.4% say yes. This poll is live right now. To cast your vote, you can scan the QR code right there on your screen. It will take you over to our X page. Our handle is at Fox Nashville.
When we first saw it, we were like, this can't be real. This can't be real. And it absolutely was real.
New tonight, a social media post from a local business called The Peach Truck goes viral after it shows how Kroger, the grocery store, took their marketing. Kroger's ad even used a picture of a Peach Truck employee. Now, Kroger admits the mistake, but the Peach Truck and its owners say this is more than a mistake. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller live now after talking to both parties tonight.
Yes, well, Scott, the peach truck sells their peaches to several businesses across the country and our state, including Cane Prime right behind me. Now, we spoke with the VP of Marketing today, who says after they posted this on social media, they had several other small businesses reach out to them with similar situations of large corporations taking over small businesses. And they say that they need to put an end to this.
The craziest thing in the history of our 12-year-old business happened to us today.
This post on Instagram gained a lot of traction after the co-founder of the Peach Truck, Stephen Rose, explained what happened with Kroger. Rose says not long after Kroger announced they were launching their own peach truck called the Kroger Peach Truck, they used this image for marketing purposes. He says the image looked so familiar.
That's our team member, Michael, from last summer, who sold peaches for the peach truck. That is the same image. They just edited the photo to change the branding.
Fox 17 News reached out to Kroger, and they responded with a statement saying, quote, "We were embarrassed to learn about this. You can say we have peach on our face. While these images were not approved to be shared as part of our marketing campaign, they should have never been created in the first place."
These peaches come from our suppliers.
We went to one of the peach truck pop-ups to speak with their vice president of marketing.
Kroger gave a really cheeky response, and there's just really nothing cute or funny about stealing from small businesses. We haven't heard directly from Kroger, and so I think that they need to take this a little bit more seriously.
Joanna Mariani says that they've heard from several small business owners after this incident.
But I also think that there's a bigger conversation we need to have around the use of AI and the protection of entrepreneurs and creatives to make sure that this doesn't continue to threaten them.
Mariani says they don't know if it was AI or Photoshop, but she emphasizes it's a problem.
Now, the peach truck says that no legal action will be taken. They say that peach season is very short, ending in September, so their focus right now is providing their customers with the best peaches. But they do say that they really hope that change does come from this. Reporting live from the Gulch, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Is tackling juvenile crime a priority to you, and how is the city tackling this?
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, summer in Nashville off to a deadly start as it relates to teen crime. The teen homicide rate is up, and community members are asking city leaders to step up. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker is at the Metro Courthouse digging into these numbers.
This year alone, MMPD says we've now seen 9 homicides in Nashville where the victim was 17 or younger. Now, many of those deaths in recent weeks, and that number has sadly even grown since last year. In the last 3 weeks, at least 4 teenagers were shot and killed in the Nashville area. This happened at a Bellevue Park, a Madison Park, and at apartment complexes both in North Nashville and Edge Hill.
It's always disturbing, and I think it should be for an entire community when any child dies.
Fox 17 News sat down with juvenile court judge Sheila Calloway, who says we can't arrest our way out of the problem. What's your response to those who feel like our judges are not imposing harsh enough sentences, or that our children aren't scared to commit crimes because the consequences aren't necessarily there, more so a slap on the wrist?
There are different things that we can do to make sure that all of our youth are learning from their experience and not in a position where they're going to repeat the crimes again.
Judge Calloway says there are a number of programs in the court system, from drug and alcohol addiction to gang resistance interventions. She feels at times it could be more beneficial than jail.
We have to take the time to learn what that particular child needs and be able to design a program that's important for that child. Sometimes I do have to transfer the youth to the adult system based on the things that they've done, their inability, in my opinion, to be amenable to treatment.
And from a city standpoint, Mayor Freddie O'Connell says he's working with nonprofits, Metro Public Health, and MMPD. Is tackling juvenile crime a priority to you, and how is the city tackling this?
So we're trying to focus on safety, making sure we resolve crimes as they come up, prevent crimes before they occur as best as they can, and also make sure that young people have access to the best opportunities they can to avoid crime altogether.
Judge Calloway says this really takes a community effort. That's structured schedules, structured programs, and also positive mentors and positive role models in their life. She also wants to remind the community to never leave guns inside of the car because, as MNPD mentioned earlier today, 70% of stolen guns are coming from cars. For now, reporting in downtown Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In your health news, around 25 million people here in the U.S. have asthma, and this time of year, thunderstorms and summer weather can worsen symptoms. In tonight's Health Minute, Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin shows us the impact that severe weather can have on asthma sufferers and ways to avoid being breathless this summer.
Spring and fall get a lot of flack for worsening symptoms of asthma, but summer causes concerns too, especially with stormy weather.
The humidity and wind associated with the thunderstorms break those pollens into very, very small particles that can be aerosolized very easily.
Dr. Lori Manka with National Jewish Health says research shows asthma sufferers are at increased risk of needing to go to the emergency room during severe weather. But these patients can protect themselves.
One, I think if somebody has asthma, trying to really do some reflection about what seems to be the triggers. Is it driven by allergy? Do you have associated allergic rhinitis or inflammation of the sinuses related to allergy?
If allergies trigger asthma, reduce exposure by staying indoors in times of high pollen. Take allergy or asthma medicine as prescribed. Avoid touching your eyes. Shower and change clothes after being outdoors to remove pollen. And keep windows closed. Manka says to also frequently check forecasts.
Knowing where to find pollen counts, air quality index reports in your area to see what it's like outside, before you go outside.
Manka says to go over best treatment options with your doctor and formulate a plan on what to do if symptoms increase. Amanda Chin for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, the CDC says high-efficiency filters in your air conditioning system at home can also help stop outdoor allergens from coming inside. The agency says to just make sure your HVAC system can use high-efficiency filters before installing them.
In the economy tonight, the No Buy Challenge is urging people essentially to save money instead of making non-essential purchases. Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino takes a closer look at this social media trend and explains how it could also help the environment.
Commit to a month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks not buying anything you don't absolutely need.
It's called the No Buy Challenge. You can pick a product that you're spending too much money on and stop buying it for a set period of time.
Probably makeup. I spend a lot on makeup. I feel like I buy a lot of food when I'm out with my friends.
Yeah.
And I could honestly just make it at home. Probably clothes, I guess.
Some people are even taking it a step further, vowing off all purchases that aren't essential, which is great for your bank account and the environment.
If you don't buy stuff you don't need, then you don't have to put it in landfills and you don't have to worry whether it's biodegradable or not.
Business expert Greg Stoller from Boston University tells me that's a big reason why so many young consumers are jumping on this trend.
I see the demographics as being people under 35 years old. This is the generation that will literally spend 15 or 20% more on a product if it's good for the environment.
But while saving money and helping the environment are both great goals, Greg says the Buy Nothing Challenge probably isn't sustainable for anybody long term.
It's expensive right now, and saving money in and of itself is not a bad thing. But again, what are you trying to accomplish here, right? Are you doing it because you want to get a certain number of clicks on TikTok? I think it would be interesting to look back on this a year from now to see how much of it was worth it.
Kelly Avellino, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Now, retailers are taking note of this trend, so experts say you will likely see in the near future more companies marketing themselves as the place to go for essentials.
All right, Katie, that summertime heat, it's not letting up.
No, unfortunately, I think we're only going to see hotter conditions. We really we're lucky today. We only hit 89.
Only? It felt warmer, though, I think, because of the, the dreaded humidity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it has been a little humid past couple of days. I think, again, that silver lining I was talking about last night. I do see a little bit drier air filtering in by mid to late week, but the temperatures are going to climb, so it's still going to feel pretty sultry outside. At least it won't be oppressive with temperatures close to 100 degrees. So the heat continues for us here with little relief even in the overnight hours. Tonight's lows dropping into the low to mid 70s, and it's possible, in fact, I could even say likely that we could find 100 here in Nashville by the weekend. So folks doing anything they can to stay dry, and loved this picture. This actually was just sent to me by one of our photographers. This is their son and their daughter, Corlane and Miles in College Grove. Sent it to me first for the clouds in the background. We've had some amazing sunsets over the past few nights, gorgeous sunsets, in fact, and the kids there doing anything they can to stay cool with these sort of muggy and stuffy nights, if you will, and we'll continue to see those for the next couple of nights here. First day of summer is upon us. We are looking at that to be on the 20th of June on Thursday here. So officially we will be in summer as we head towards Thursday. So let's walk you through temperatures the next couple of days. We will be looking at a very mild start to the morning, low to mid 70s here area wide. A couple 60s, upper 60s up towards southern Kentucky. As we head towards the afternoon, you can easily see those highs topping off in the low 90s for a lot of us here. Now, given the amount of cloud cover that is possible again for tomorrow, we may hover in the low 90 range, maybe a few of us in those upper 80s again. It'll be somewhat similar to what we had this afternoon. Then we get into very early Thursday morning, and again, not much relief from the heat. Area wide lows in those low 70s to mid 70s, and then we once again climb into those low to mid 90s for Thursday afternoon. Even at 5 o'clock, after that afternoon high has already passed us, we're still sitting in the low 90s here in Nashville, Columbia around 87, Lewisburg 86, and Cookeville sitting in the upper 80s. And again, we'll feel a little stuffy as we head through the day. As we take a look, next few days are going to stay dry, so not much relief in the form of heat or even in rain. We are looking at no rain chances for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so making sure you're keeping those plants watered. It just reminds me I need to do that. I should practice what I preach because I do need to do that, so I will make a note of that. As we head through the next few days, we are going to be looking at mainly dry conditions I mentioned here. And again, all the rain stays to our west and stays to our north as we head through Thursday and into Friday and into Saturday as well. We are looking at, however, flooding threats through Wednesday, all due to this potential tropical cyclone 1. We'll talk about it, where it's located, and the impacts.
We have breaking news now as Pro Baseball Hall of Fame legend Willie Mays has died. The former San Francisco Giants star could do it all: a big bat, lightning speed, and a great glove. Mays played for 23 MLB seasons, amassing 660 home runs. Willie Mays, the Hall of Famer, dead at the age of 93.
Well, tonight, animal shelters across the mid-state asking for your help as they are at capacity and dealing with rising costs. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan is in Franklin with how you can help.
Right now, animal intake is topping adoptions across the state. Here in Williamson County is just one example of that overcrowding. According to the directors here in adoption, they have 44 kennels but 46 dogs. So they are pretty full here and ready for adoption. But the question is, why are these adoptions down? Well, there's a slew of reasons, according to the director, Andrea Johnson.
As we all know, we're all sort of feeling the crunch from rising costs of things and people, going back to work. Everybody's back in the office now. Even the folks who were mainly remote seem to have gone back into at least some office time. So we're seeing, a lot of animals being given up by their families, and that's been pretty steady from years past, but just not as many people coming in to add a pet to their family.
Adoptions, of course, aren't for everyone. Johnson believes that you do need the resources and availability before you decide to take in a furry friend, but there's always foster care to give especially the senior dogs time away from the shelter life. The summer months are especially busy for animal shelters across Middle Tennessee. That is mainly because of 4th of July. So if you happen to lose your pet during these fireworks, you want to make sure and check your local shelter to see if they're there to help them out. For now, in Franklin, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
You would think if a Walmart TV delivery man is caught on video stealing the TV, it'd be a pretty easy case.
Well, a Wilson County woman has been on a wild ride since ordering a TV from Walmart for home delivery. Christina Shearer caught her delivery guy stealing her TVs just seconds after delivering it. But what should have been an open and shut case still is not entirely resolved. Here's Dennis Ferrier with a Fox 17 investigation update.
So what happens when your TV is stolen by the actual delivery man? Christina Shearer wanted two things. She wanted her TV back, and she wanted the thief brought to justice.
The doorbell camera shows you what happened. The Walmart TV is delivered and then immediately put back on the truck by the delivery man. Christina Shearer called police, called Walmart, and called the third-party delivery service Roadie provided by UPS. She told everyone the same story using this video.
I think the delivery person took it. And so the sheriff looked at the same videos and he was like, that's what it's looking like. And I was just like, oh, great, wonderful. So, and it was just like, it happened so fast. And I was just like, what now?
At first, Walmart said it was not responsible for theft, even by its own delivery person. But after our story aired, Walmart not only gave Christina Shearer a new TV, they added a gift card for her inconvenience. So that part of the story ended well, but there was unfinished business. Christina Shearer did not want the thief to get away with the crime.
This time it's about justice. Put in behind bars for this. It's not fair. Like that's saying that basically you can go be a porch pirate and get away with it and be allowed to do it with no consequences.
But the Wilson County detective tells Christina Walmart has no record of the TV being picked up at the Walmart on Dickerson Pike. But that's where Walmart told Christina the TV was picked up the night of the theft. How did the story change when it was told to police?
And they told him they had no record of the TV being picked up from that store, from that exact store.
But of course it was.
Yes, because that's what the lady on the customer service line told me. She told me strictly that night that it was picked up from Dickerson Road Walmart.
So now the investigation has stalled. Christina Shearer says it's just unacceptable.
He could be laying low because of this whole story, and then when it blows over, he's probably going to go back at it again. So you just never know if it's going to happen again.
We will see what happens here. It feels very disorganized on the retail end of this story. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In your community tonight, Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are teaming up with Second Harvest Food Bank to keep kids from going hungry this summer. You may not know this, but thousands of children who get sometimes 2 meals a day at school are in a really tough spot when school's out, as it is now. Joining us now with more on this effort is Pierce Behringer with Second Harvest Food Bank, which operates under the umbrella of Feeding America, our partner on this. And Pierce, thank you for doing this. Tell us how many children in our area you feel like are either food secure or potentially food insecure in the summer like this.
So recently, the Feeding America Network released their Map the Meal Gap, and in that they found that 1 in 6 children in our service area, which is 46 counties across Middle and West Tennessee, face hunger. That's 108,000 kids in total. And like you mentioned, during the summer months, that number gets exacerbated because some families that may be on the brink of food insecurity or may be able to provide for their children during the school year because of those free and reduced meals now have an extra burden. So it's not an easy time right now if you're facing food insecurity or if you're trying to figure out ways that you can put food on the table for your family.
All right, now we've outlined the problem. Here's the question: how can our viewers help?
Absolutely. Second Harvest is always helping students. Right now, we actually have a match going on. So every dollar donated to Second Harvest, we can extend your impact to help provide for those families. If people are in need of assistance, we also have a Find Food tool on our website. Go to www.secondharvestmidtn.org, and you can find information out there as well.
Now, I know people, generally speaking, are certainly aware of Second Harvest and your mission. They like to donate canned food items because we feel like, hey, I'm doing something tangible. But I also know you guys have a lot of partnerships that allow you to do so much more with a cash, donation or a check. Please explain that.
Absolutely. We have a lot of buying power because we work with a lot of local organizations, grocery partners. So we are often able to sort of shop the deals, to use a common term, so we can stretch dollars further. And, we always like to say, give food, give funds, or give time. We'll take any donation we can get. But yes, at a time like this, when more children are facing food insecurity than ever, money can go a long way towards fighting food insecurity.
I've heard you guys can take $1 and turn it into up to 10 meals. So if folks are seeing our conversation, they're saying, all right, I'm on board. I get what you're doing. I want to help. What specifically do you want them to do in terms of how do they give?
Again, secondharvestmidtn.org. On there, you'll see our donate page. If you're able to donate, we would appreciate that. Like I said, we have a match going on right now. So every match is donated. That's going on until June 30th. We appreciate all donations, and we do everything we can to use that money to help keep children fed throughout the summer.
That's great. This is very timely. We also have giving information. I checked before our conversation on our website. Just go to fox17.com and search Feeding America. Pierce Behringer, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Once again, tomorrow morning, feeling a bit stuffy for us with temperatures maybe making it to the mid-70s by tomorrow morning. So we take a look at the early morning forecast here. Mostly cloudy skies again. Won't be looking at a ton of sunshine, but temperatures will be looking quite warm with mid-70s by 8 and up to about 80 degrees as we head towards the mid-morning. So because we have a little bit more cloud cover around, burn time right around 20 minutes or so with our UV index for tomorrow. Still will be in that high category. I expect this to go up though as we head closer to the weekend with more sunshine expected overall. The Live Golf Tournament in town for the next couple of days, at least Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is actually at the Grove Golf Course, and temperatures will be up there. We're looking at upper 90s to around 100 degrees as we head through the weekend. 100 possible for Saturday. We'll talk more about the tropics, what's firing up, and where in the U.S. we could see some impacts.
Also at finger pointing, Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feed America for the Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief Program. You can donate by scanning the QR code on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com.
Well, tonight we have the official cause of death for college student Riley Strain. Last March, the 22-year-old University of Missouri student was in town with friends. They went drinking downtown and he was asked to leave the bar due to intoxication. He disappeared shortly after leaving, and his body was found in the river days later. Tonight, the medical examiner says Riley Strain drowned due to alcohol poisoning and ruled his death an accident.
New tonight, Metro Councilwoman Joy Stiles giving voice to her no confidence resolution targeting Nashville's finance and law directors. Stiles, who's a member of the Metro Arts Committee, is upset over the treatment of now former Arts Commission Executive Director Daniel Singh. He went on leave back in February after accusing city leaders of racism. Singh claims that he started getting pushback after increasing city grants to minority artists. Earlier this month, Metro paid Singh $200,000 to essentially go away.
I don't trust the mayor to make this right. He hasn't done anything, hasn't said anything for all of these months. But I want everyone to remember that you haven't heard from him. You've heard lies from Crumble and lies from Dietz, and you see that there are council members that are not standing here right now.
Now, Stiles is referring to Metro Law Director Wally Dietz, who brokered the Singh settlement, and Metro Finance Director Kevin Crumbo, who Stiles claims is closely connected to members of the Nashville arts community who got less money on Singh's watch.
Coming up, we'll talk more about the tropics. We are watching the potential for our first tropical cyclone, and we'll have a look at who could find impacts here in the U.S.
New data revealing how well the city is handling increased.
In your community tonight, proof that Nashville traffic is getting worse instead of better. Fox 17 News' Johnny Mathey with results of a new study that shows gridlock is very much worse than it was before the pandemic.
Sometimes you try to avoid it at all costs, but there's just no escaping that bumper-to-bumper traffic. And Texas A&M researchers are actually coming out with a study that says it might be harder to avoid than before the pandemic in some cities, including here in Nashville, thanks in part to more trucks on the road, Nashville being a destination city, and also I-65 and I-40 converging, the big highways in the big city.
What's a commuter now? You know, so is it somebody that drives in at least 2 days a week, 3 days a week? You know, what is that? And so it kind of makes some of our calculations more difficult, because in the old days, if you pretty much worked, you were a commuter, you know? And now it is, there's these subcategories.
We also asked David Schrank about solving traffic. He says, well, that varies from region to region because of some of the tools cities might have and also the space in the region. In Nashville, I'm Johnny Mathey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, political experts say 3 of the top issues that voters are concerned with this year: immigration, crime, and the economy. And tonight we look at how President Biden wants to change immigration with a new policy. Fox 17 News' Matt Gelka shows us how that policy would protect immigrants married to U.S. citizens. And by the way, you can vote on this issue by scanning the QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during the story.
A new policy from the White House could protect around 500,000 undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation and provide a path to a green card.
And it doesn't apply to anyone trying to come here today. This action is a better way. It doesn't tear families apart while requiring every undocumented spouse to fulfill their obligations under the law.
The policy allows for spouses to apply for a parole-in-place program. They would have had to have been in the U.S. for 10 years. It would also help with work permits. Typically, if a person crossed into the country illegally and got married, they'd have to return to their home country for 10 years before applying for a green card. The move was panned by Republicans as an election year stunt.
We're hearing the doublespeak again. Out of one side of his mouth, he's saying, look at me, I'm doing an executive order. We're going to control the border. And then on the other hand now, he's offering basically mass amnesty.
It's President Biden's second major immigration policy in the past 2 weeks. He announced a halt to asylum seekers at the border when it becomes overwhelmed earlier this month. It's already facing a legal challenge. The policies also come when the heat is on the administration for a border crisis.
The blame starts at the top, and the blame starts with the Biden administration. He's sitting in that chair, and under his presidency, the border has been much less secure.
The sheriff of Harford County, Maryland, blamed Biden's border policies following the arrest of an illegal immigrant for the murder of Maryland mother Rachel Morin. And a June poll from CBS YouGov found support for Donald Trump's proposed policy of a national deportation program for illegal immigrants. 62% of people supported overall, with 53% of Hispanics in favor. The program announced by the White House on Tuesday likely won't take effect until the end of the summer. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's campaign called it an invitation for illegal immigration. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Well, during that story, as promised, we had that QR code posted on the screen linking up to this poll asking who is most responsible for the crisis at the border. Here are the results on your screen. 1,208 people weighing in. 78.1% say President Biden is to blame. Just 5.7% say it's former President Trump to blame. 16.2% say Congress is to blame.
All right, let's talk about the heat. Katie's not to blame for it, but honestly, there's some people with more to worry about than just the heat.
Yeah, we've been watching this system kind of disorganized in the Gulf of Mexico, and looks like it could become our first tropical named storm, tropical storm. But for now, it remains as potential tropical cyclone 1. It's a long name. But basically, the National National Hurricane Center does this to go ahead and give advisories on an area that is looking like it may end up becoming a tropical system or a tropical storm. So that's what we continue to follow here. Now, it is quite disorganized this evening. The latest advisory has been posted, and movement now is to the northwest at 7 miles per hour, max winds at 40 miles per hour here. And we'll put the latest track from the National Hurricane Center on here, and you can see that it will make landfall in Mexico by late Wednesday night, so about 24 hours from now through Thursday. But more so, what's more concerning, besides the fact that it could be a named storm, is the amount of rainfall that we're expecting with it here. We're already starting to see some of those showers spill onshore here throughout portions of Louisiana, and more so for Texas. And that's going to be where the bigger concern is for flooding. This is a look at our potential flood threat through Wednesday from the potential tropical cyclone 1. But you can see here some major concerns here for flooding stretching from Houston, Galveston, all the way down to Corpus Christi. And as far as how much rain we could end up with, this is a 7-day total, but a lot of this is going to be due to the next 24 to even 48 hours of rainfall, upwards to 7, 8, maybe even 9 inches in some spots, especially closer to Corpus Christi. So it is going to be something we have to keep a close eye on for folks in the Texas area. Again, the wind threat, it'll be there anywhere between 39 mile per hour winds up to just under hurricane force winds, but not expecting to strengthen to a real strong tropical storm. That's at least the way it's looking right now. So wind will be a factor, but more so surge and flooding are going to be the main concerns here. And if it becomes a tropical storm, we'll get the first name of the season, which is Alberto. Now, forecasts for the year here it's been a lot of chatter that we're expecting a pretty active hurricane season. So we're not even through the middle of June. It's the 18th of June, so we're about halfway through the first month of the hurricane season and already looking at the potential for a tropical storm. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Locally, we are dry for the next several days, and that is not going to give us much relief from the heat. We could be near 100 for Saturday and Sunday, with a few pop-ups coming in Monday and Tuesday.
Thank you, Katie. A new new help saving lives, I should say, in Middle Tennessee. The special New tonight, the Franklin Police Department with a new way to save your life if you are choking. They just purchased multiple life vac kits. These are non-invasive suction rescue devices that can save a life in the event of a choking incident. Police Chief Deb Faulkner says she hopes the department never has to use them, but that it's important to be prepared. Studies show that choking is the 4th leading cause of unintentional death, and at least 1 child dies from choking on food every 5 days.
In entertainment news, the king of country music, George Strait, just broke a 4-decade-old record. On Saturday night, Strait performed for a crowd of nearly 111,000 people. Got to get the number right here at Texas A&M's Kyle Field. It's the largest single ticketed concert in U.S. history. The previous record, held by the Grateful Dead, a rock band, played for 107,000 fans at New Jersey's Raceway Park. That was back in 1977.
Closing out Pride Month with a project that will literally...
Breaking. We begin tonight with breaking news as Pro Baseball Hall of Famer Willie Mays has died. The former San Francisco Giants star could do it all. He had a big bat, lightning speed, outstanding fielder, 23 seasons, 660 home runs. Willie Mays was 93.
Well, looking ahead to a new addition to Nashville as Metro Council announces a first-of-its-kind art installation representing the LGBTQ community.
100 volunteers being recruited to help paint a rainbow crosswalk on Saturday, June 29th, starting at 9 a.m. in East Nashville at the intersection of 14th and Woodland. This city collaboration is in partnership with the Nashville Department of Transportation and Nashville Pride, promoting love, diversity, and unity.
I'm Christine Frizzell on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers say it's past time for accountability on COVID-19. What they plan to do, coming up.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
Back to breaking news. We have to tell you about the death of Pro Baseball Hall of Famer Willie Mays. The former San Francisco Giants star could do it all.
Well, he had a big bat, lightning speed, and was an outstanding fielder. Mays played for 23 seasons, amassing 660 home runs. He was 93 years old. Well, we start tonight with a live look over Broadway as Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell pushes to expand WeGo bus service. Well, the first of 3 votes to put his Choose How You Move transit plan on the November ballot is before Metro Council tonight.
Now, the plan includes a small sales tax increase as a dedicated funding source to pay for transit improvements, which include more sidewalks and expanding WeGo routes and service times. But some riders worry about the expanded hours. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live downtown at the Metro Courthouse, where Council's still meeting tonight.
Yes, good evening. They just passed it. It's actually an ordinance that would provide funding that also includes a surcharge that has to do with the mayor's transportation program. Now, even though they pass it tonight, there are some worries for people, and keep in mind that it still has 2 more votes before it's fully approved and heads towards November ballot for people to decide on. Now, a part of the mayor's transit program includes that buses will be more frequent and have more routes. Some people tell me there is already a lot of crime happening at the WeGo bus stations and at the buses. They tell me they worry if buses are more frequent, it'll bring even more crime. WeGo already has more than $2.4 million on security services. And the question is, what will be different this time? The mayor says upgraded security and a relationship with Metro Police, although transit advocate Darius Knight thinks that sounds good. He wants the mayor to do a deeper dive into what's really going on. Listen.
Well, I'm concerned because I think that the mayor is uninformed about what's really going on. These issues have been ongoing. This didn't just start a month ago or the month before. This has been ongoing.
Remember, if it's fully approved following the next 2 votes, this does come with a tax increase, which could deter some voters. Reporting live here in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. We want to know what you think. If the election were held today, would you vote for the mayor's transportation improvement plan? 600 votes even. 64% say no. 35.8% say yes, they would. The poll's still live. If you'd like to cast your vote, just scan the QR code there on the right-hand side of your screen. It will take you to our X page. Our handle is @FoxNashville.
Kroger gave a really cheeky response, and there's just really nothing cute or funny about stealing from small businesses.
New tonight, a social media post from a local business, the Peach Truck, went viral after it showed Kroger grocery stores taking a rip off their marketing. The grocery giant doctored a Peach Truck ad that included an employee. The Peach Truck also not happy with Kroger's response. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live in Nashville after speaking with the Peach Truck today. Caitlin.
Yes, Megan. Well, the Peach Truck sells their peaches to businesses all over the country and our state, including Cane Prime right behind me. Now, their social media post that you mentioned reached over 200,000 people, and they're hoping that people see a change from this post and how it's impacting these small businesses. Now, take a look at this post on Instagram that gained a lot of traction after the co-founder of the Peach Truck, Stephen Rose, explained what happened with Kroger. Rose says that not long after Kroger announced they were launching their own Peach Truck, they used the image for their marketing purposes. He says the image looked so familiar because their employee Michael was used in the photo that Rose explains Kroger edited and rebranded.
They had actually lifted our social media images, specifically images of our stops, and then in one case an image of one of our employees wearing our shirt, holding our boxes in front of our truck, and photoshopped it all to be Kroger's.
Fox 17 News reached out to Kroger, and they responded with a statement saying, quote, "We were embarrassed to learn about this. You can say we have peach on our face. While these images were not approved to be shared as part of our marketing campaign, they should have never been created in the first place." Now, the peach truck does not know if AI or Photoshop was used, but they say that this is something that really needs to be monitored in the future. Reporting live from the Gulch, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Operation Crime and Justice community advocates tonight are asking Metro City leaders to address the recent spike in teen murders. Metro Police records show 9 murder victims, 17 and under, since the first of the year. That's 2 more than all of last year, and that 2023 number includes the 3 children who were killed at the Covenant School in Green Hills last March. Now, while some leaders are calling for tougher penalties for juvenile offenders, Metro's juvenile court judge Sheila Calloway says we cannot arrest our way out of this problem.
What's your response to those who feel like our judges are not imposing harsh enough sentences, or that our children aren't scared to commit crimes because the consequences aren't necessarily there, more so a slap on the wrist?
There are different things that we can do to make sure that all of our youth are learning from their experience and not in a position where they're going to repeat the crimes again.
Judge Calloway says that troubled teens need treatment and real rehabilitation. She says the court system has a number of programs to address things like substance abuse and alcohol use.
New tonight, after months of speculation, we now know what killed Riley Strain. The college student died of alcohol poisoning and drowned. Strain disappeared in March after a night out with his fraternity brothers. Workers found his body 2 weeks later in the Cumberland River. Strain's autopsy showed his blood alcohol level was almost 3 times the legal limit. Investigators say that he would have had trouble moving on his own. In this security video, you can see Riley Strain struggling to stay on his feet, even falling. And this video shows him headed towards the riverfront. You can see all of our stories on Riley Strain at fox17.com. The latest update is on our homepage, but you can see all of our reporting and stories on Riley and in-depth coverage at fox17.com.
Heat continues to be the story for us for the week here. Our highest temperatures so far for 2024 was on Sunday. We reached 98 degrees. Since then, we have come down a little bit. We were in the low to mid 90s yesterday. Today we were at 89, so we just missed out on 90 degrees. It breaks our streak of 90-degree days, but we will be looking at several more headed our way as we head into the late part of the work week. As far as the radar goes, things remain quiet for us. We will not find much relief from the heat, so we will maintain a dry picture for us for the next couple of days here. Overnight lows will stay pretty stuffy in the low 70s here in Nashville, around 73 or so. Mount Juliet, Lebanon, around 79 or 71, I should say. Smyrna, Murfreesboro, around 71 degrees. Should be looking at mostly cloudy skies as well. Dover, Clarksville, around 72. Waverly, right around 71 degrees. Mix of clouds and stars for folks in Centerville, Hohenwald, and Linden, all hovering around that 70-degree mark. A little bit to the south and to the east here of Nashville, we're looking at Tullahoma around 70, Fayetteville around 71. And for those in Cookeville, we'll see that low right around 69 for tomorrow morning. Again, a pretty stuffy night with the muggy conditions hanging with us. We'll talk more about the warmer weather that is on the way, which day we could hit 100 coming up.
Also, Fox 17 News Health Alert tonight about the blistering summer heat and the impact that it has on your body.
Well, the physical toll, obvious, but experts say the heat can also impact your mental health. Fox 17 News' Jeff Harris explains the impact.
Medical experts say it really comes down to taking preventative steps and, if needed, adjusting your schedule to make sure your body and brain don't get overworked, something that people who especially work outside need to apply.
Jason Beckler isn't just a dad and husband. He's also a longshoreman in Staten Island, a job where you spend all day outside working on a ship.
When it's like brutally hot out here, like it almost comes home with me.
Beckler says he's had this job for the past 20 years, and the summers really take a toll, not only physically, but also mentally.
I'm irritable. Like I'm normally a very happy, it takes a lot to bring me to that level.
Dr. Lee Richardson, director of the Brain Performance Center in Dallas, says extreme heat causes our brains to activate faster, threatening our mental well-being.
Heat makes your brain a little bit foggy. It impacts your autonomic nervous system.
She tells us too much exposure to the heat can lead to increased anxiety, stress, and even road rage.
That's our body going into a state of unbalance. And that's where that irritation comes from.
And it's something Beckler sees firsthand while on the job.
Everyone's just a different type of attitude. Everybody's a little bit on edge.
Now, Richardson says anticipation is also something to consider when talking about mental health. For example, when someone knows their car will be hot in the afternoon, she says that can cause anxiety and also stress. I'm Jeff Harris reporting from Washington.
I'm Christine Frizzell on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers say it's past time for accountability on COVID-19. What they plan to do, coming up.
And coming up, we'll talk more about the heat that is around for the next couple of days, which day we could reach 100 degrees.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting.
In Operation Crime and Justice, taking a plea to avoid the death penalty. The man who shot and killed 5 people and wounded 19 others at a Colorado LGBTQ nightclub just admitted to 50 federal hate crimes. Anderson Aldrich is already serving life in prison after pleading guilty to state charges last year. Well, the gag order surrounding former President Trump's hush money criminal case will remain in place. This as the former president vows to fight his conviction. The Court of Appeals will not hear arguments against the gag order, citing it does not pose constitutional issues. A New York jury found him guilty of using his business to hide hush money payments to keep quiet an affair.
Tonight, a renewed call for answers about the origins of COVID-19. As Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell shows us, this question is the subject of yet another heated debate on Capitol Hill.
In terms of the cover-up, my guess is the smoking gun exists somewhere under these heavy redactions.
Accusations of a cover-up of the origins of COVID-19 remain a rallying cry for Republicans who argue the National Institutes of Health, led by Dr. Anthony Fauci, tried to suppress theories that the virus started in a lab, namely the Wuhan Institute of Virology, where U.S. and Chinese scientists were working jointly on gain-of-function research.
HHS and NIH have not produced documents related to the gain-of-function research that the chairman and I requested nearly a year ago.
A panel of scientists presenting differing perspectives.
Based on the current available evidence, I believe that the most plausible origin of SARS-CoV-2 is spillover from a bat to an intermediate animal and then to a human.
Multiple lines of secure evidence point to a research origin. By contrast, zero secure evidence points toward a natural origin.
The global pandemic sparking worldwide fears and uncertainty about how to respond, also fueling misinformation as people were watching friends and family get sick, become hospitalized, and in the case of more than 1 million Americans, die from the virus. One reason why Senator Gary Peters calls it a matter of homeland security.
We must learn from the challenges faced during this pandemic to ensure we can better protect Americans from future potential biological incident.
Lawmakers in both parties blaming China for the lack of answers more than 4 years later.
As a U.S. Senator, does it make you a little concerned given how resistant they have been to being upfront and honest and transparent about the origins of COVID?
More than concerned about the Chinese Communist resistance to truth about public health catastrophes. It is deeply alarming and chilling.
Attempts to get answers from China still falling short. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell.
A mild overnight with temperatures dropping back into the low to mid 70s. Lots of folks out and about enjoying the warm evening here down on Broadway. And again, temperatures still hovering in those upper 70s. I don't think we're going to drop much more. We'll be in the low to mid 70s for the overnight. So the heat, it continues, I'm afraid, with little to no relief expected. Even in these overnight hours, we don't get a lot of relief. Due to the temperature staying as warm as they are through the overnight. It is possible as we get into the later part of the week that we could find 100 degrees. I had to put it in the forecast, I'm afraid. As far as the next few days go, however, we will be looking at mostly cloudy skies for Wednesday. Temperature should be right around 92. We ended up at 89 today, so we break our streak of 90-degree days and we start over for tomorrow. So should see that temperature around 92, 94 for Thursday. And by Friday, we're in those upper 90s, close to 100 degrees, but think we'll be just shy of it. But we will find more sunshine as we head towards the end of the week. Dry weather all 3 days as well, so making sure you keep the plants watered and the flowers watered as well in your garden. They definitely need a drink of water with all the heat that's around, and we're not getting any help from Mother Nature anytime soon. We'll take a look at our next several days. This takes us through tomorrow, and you can see that we do stay dry. Our storm systems stay well north of us and to the west of us, so the result will be mainly dry conditions and increasing sunshine as well as we head towards the late part of the work week. If there is a silver lining, I would say that the mugginess will come down a little bit. It'll still feel humid, but not quite as stuffy as we head towards Thursday and Friday. However, the temperatures will be climbing, so it'll still feel quite hot outside, just not quite as stuffy with the humidity. As we go through Thursday night, early Friday morning, again maintaining mainly dry skies. I'd say by the end of the weekend, we could be looking at a couple showers possible for us, but until then, we are staying mainly dry. Here's a look at your forecast for tomorrow, or for tonight, I should say, right around 72 with mostly cloudy skies. Stuffy's the word I've been using the past couple of days. It's just how it feels when you walk out there. Not a lot of air movement. 92 for tomorrow. We do look at mostly cloudy skies again, but a little more sunshine as we head towards Thursday and Friday. Thursday, by the way, the first day of summer, and from there it'll be definitely feeling like summer with that high around 100 come Saturday.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Snow continues to fall out west, including here in Montana, as well as portions of 5 other states. Crepuscular rays shine through the clouds during sunset over Lake Ontario. And here's a unique sight on California's Shasta Lake. That's an amphibious car cruising on the water. Just a few moments later, it drove out of the lake and onto the road.
Listen to Off the Radar. New episodes every Tuesday. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
You can see more stories like
Fox 17 News Health Alert tonight about the ever-rising cost of health care.
Well, some Americans are choosing a high-deductible plan to save money, but as Fox 17 News' Angela Brown explains, that could be bad for your health.
It's a harsh reality facing so many Americans. Rising health care. Out-of-pocket expenses like co-pays are soaring.
I don't understand why we pour so much money into the healthcare system in America and we get such low outcomes.
And costs keep rising. The Kaiser Family Foundation found the average annual health insurance premiums in 2023 are roughly $8,400 for an individual and just under $24,000 for a family. These average premiums each increasing 7% in 2023.
Families are having a harder time affording those lower deductible health plans. And so many are resorting to those higher deductible health plans.
But the trade-off of going with a high deductible plan could come with grave consequences. An eye-opening new report presented at the American Society of Clinical Oncology this year found that high deductible health plans are associated with worse overall outcomes for cancer survivors.
For cancer survivors that are on high deductible health plans, we saw a 34% increase compared to cancer survivors on low deductible health plans for dying of cancer at a later date, increased risk of death of cancer.
While this report found that high deductible health plans are associated with worse overall health outcomes for cancer survivors, that was not the case for adults without cancer. Cancer survivors with high deductibles may put off care due to that cost. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
Protecting your health when it comes to the summer sun and the heat. I'm Liz Bonus. What pharmacists want all of us to know. It is just ahead.
Well, it's not just heat exhaustion or heat stroke you need to watch out for when you're out in the summer sun.
Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus tonight to tell us about some hidden heat dangers that can also impact your health.
Hey there, everybody. We all know when it comes to the sun and the heat, we need to protect against it. And that means knowing what can influence your health in some of these hotter temperatures.
For example, we're all prone to sunburn in the heat, but Dr. Andrew Straw, an associate professor of pharmacy practice at Ohio's Cedarville University, told me people on certain medications can burn more quickly than those not on the drugs.
Some of these would be antibiotics as a big one. And this is true. There are some antibiotics that can make sunburn worse. And so it's really important to be aware of that so you can take preventative measures until that antibiotic is completed, even a few days after it's completed, to make sure it doesn't cause a severe sunburn.
In addition to sunburn, certain health conditions are aggravated by heat.
The heat can aggravate, especially some of our patients that I see with some breathing disorders like asthma or COPD. It can be in the humidity, especially.
Tick bites are also a problem in the heat. We're outdoors, but we don't want to wear long sleeves and pants for protection against these critters. Symptoms mimic heat-related problems, so you might not even know you have a bite until you get headaches, nausea, muscle and joint pain, as well as a distinct rash.
What should you do if you're worried about some of these symptoms?
It's great to be able to, especially now with electronic health records, sometimes you can send your doctor a picture of what that bite looks like, and that can be really helpful to them to actually see what's going on and recommend something right away.
Finally, he says dehydration impacts all of us, but certain people take blood pressure medications that actually push water out of the body, adding danger.
Now, your own pharmacist can answer any specific questions that you may have about some of your own medications and these reminders with your health news. I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Gonna be hot. I'll pretend to act
There's
surprised.
a certain consistency in this message.
Yes. First day of summer is coming in on Thursday. We'll see